Hello and welcome to the Strategies for Success Workshop series. My name is Sarah Call and I'm the Academic Success and Retention Specialist here at Upper Iowa University, and today we will be talking about goal setting. So a quick quote that I really like that summarizes this whole thing is, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." So you can have things that you want, but if you don't have an actionable plan to get there, more than likely it's not going to happen. So first, I kind of wanted to walk us through some goal setting exercises. For those of you that may be unfamiliar with goal setting, this is to kind of help you think further out than maybe you're used to. So if you'd like to pause and take out a sheet of paper and kind of do these as we go along, I can also read this out loud for those of you that maybe struggle with reading comprehension. So the first exercise is, imagine yourself 5 years from now, and you run into an old friend who you haven't seen and you've lost contact with. You both are delighted to see each other, and the friend starts asking you how you're doing. Your friend asks you the following questions. Now, this is 5 years from now. Where do you live? What do you do for a living? How much money do you make? What kind of car do you drive? And what do you do for fun? So if you'd like to pause and think about those, you can. The next exercise is called $1 million. So if you were given $1 million and you had to immediately spend it, you'd buy the following 10 things. You must spend the money on stuff. You cannot invest it in stocks or put it in the bank or buy crypto or NFTs. Please list the 10 things that you would truly want. So for me, for example, I would probably buy a house. Not sure what else I would do with that, but that would be the top of my list. So again, if you'd like to pause and think about that, you may. And then the last exercise is titled Charity Giveaway. So if you were given $100,000 to give to a single charity or cause, what charity or cause would you give it to? So if you'd like to pause again and think about that, you may. So what do these mean? The first exercise about the lost friend gives you answers to what you want to achieve in 5 years' time. So for some of you watching this recording, that may be, let's see, 5 years from now, you will have more than likely graduated. You will have been starting your first job post-college. What do you want to be doing by then? The $1 million exercise kind of gives you your long-term goals. So you'll want to achieve these in your lifetime or the next 10 years, but further out than 5 years, more than likely. And the last one is the charity giveaway. That shows you how you'd like to contribute to society and help others. So I really like these exercises just because I know for me, in my early 20s, if somebody asked me, like, what goals do you have? I kind of would have been lost, like, because I think we get it stuck in our head that goals have to be these lofty things like, oh, I'm going to be an Olympic athlete or whatever. It doesn't have to be that. Your goals can be, you know what, I want a stable job, sensible car, and that's all right. So here's another thing, goal setting pretest. If you'd like to take out a sheet of paper or pause this and just kind of walk yourself through. So this is more academic based. Question 1, have you decided what GPA you want to achieve this term? 2, have you decided what grade you want to achieve in each of your courses this term? 3, have you written down, and this is a very important step, the grade that you want in each of your courses this term? Are the goals that you set for your courses attainable? Do you use words like try and hope when describing your goals? Do you set goals for yourself each week? Do you set daily goals? Do you tend to achieve the goals that you have set? Do you tend to give up if you don't achieve your goals? And do you revise your goals during the term? Because that's another important thing. Goals do not have to be set in stone. Based on new information or new circumstances, you can adjust your goals. So here's the scoring for that pretest. I can go back if you'd like to pause again. And here's that scoring. So kind of based on how you did, you may need some help setting goals, or you may already be using effective goal strategies. So some basic definitions here. Goals are the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aimed desire or result. So some purpose of goals. They keep us motivated. They serve as a dream with a deadline. They encourage autonomy. So autonomy is something, basically the feeling of being in control of one's own life and actions. You are the driver's seat for your own life. Your goals help determine what you do with it. And goals are also for bettering ourselves, our circumstances, or the world around us. One model that I really tend to lean heavily on for creating goals is the SMART goals model. SMART being an acronym. So S standing for specific, goals that are specific. M, measurable, so making sure there's some sort of quantifiable aspect to your goal. Making sure your goals are A, attainable, making sure they're relevant, and making sure your goals are timely. So with that in mind, here are some goals. The first goal being, I hope that I can make the dean's list this semester. If you'd like to think about whether or not these statements are good or bad, feel free to pause. The problem I have with this statement, however, is hope. Right? They hope they can make the dean's list. That doesn't really give much in way of action planning. The second goal, I'm going to read all 3 chapters in my philosophy text before the next exam. That's a pretty concrete goal. They have a specific, they want to read 3 chapters. That seems attainable, assuming that their exam is not in 20 minutes. So it could be a little more specific in that regard. I want to learn as much as possible by the end of the semester. It's not really specific. How do you measure learning in this context? I mean, it's admirable. Who doesn't want to learn as much as they can? But for the sake of writing a good goal to hold yourself to, this isn't it. And the last one, I will do problems 1 through 20 on page 56 of my college algebra textbook. The problem I have with this one is that there's kind of no deadline, but other than that, they're specific on what they need to do and where they need to do it. So another way to writing effective goal statements is the 5-step approach. So 1, write down what it is you want to accomplish. What is the overarching thing? So maybe it's graduating, right? Write down any obstacles that could prevent you from achieving your goals. So maybe it's, you have to work a busy schedule and, maybe there's some personal things going on, right? Or money issues, right? And then what resources are available to assist you? So maybe to help you navigate personal issues, you utilize counseling services. Maybe you visit the Peacock Pantry for food service, or food resources, etc. Step 4, write down your motivation or your why. So why do you want to graduate, or why is it you want to do anything? And then step 5, any sort of polishing or revisions that need to be made. Making sure that when you're creating those larger long-term goals, you're breaking them down. So this goal here, I want to earn an A in my Introduction to Psychology course. What would this person need to do to achieve that? They would need to attend classes, do their reading, maybe find a study partner and hold each other accountable. Now, I get that for some people, study partners are not either possible or, wanted. That's fine. but either find some way to hold yourself accountable or find somebody who will hold you accountable. And then this person also stipulates that they will start studying for exams at least 4 days in advance. Maybe for you that's more days, maybe for you it's less days. Couple types of goals that we've kind of talked about, your short term and your long term. Long term can be a little subjective. Um, for some people, long term is 5 years or more. For some people, it's a year or longer. For the sake of your academics, you could say a year. And then there's short term goals, which are those more immediate. Maybe it's getting an oil change this week and going to the dentist, right? So I just want you to maybe take some time here to write some goals to add to your tool belt here. What do you wish to achieve this session? I know we are at the end of week 2 in session 2, but there is always time to change course if you feel like you have a habit or something that you need to change. So that is the end of my presentation. I'd like to thank you for following along. Have a good one.